Hi, I'm Daisy from Riding Warehouse, and this is my horse Thomas. And today we're here to teach you how to tie some quick release knots. Now there's many ways to tie these different quick release knots, but we're going to show you our 4 favorite ways to do so. And now we use these quick release knots to tie up our horse when we're tacking up or grooming. And oftentimes it'll be to a tie railing like this or a tie loop. Right now we're also using some baling twine to create an extra safety precaution, so that way when we tie our horse up, if they spook and we are not there to help the situation, they can break it away and be safe. Now also to note, while we're tying these knots, it's important, since it's connected to the horse, to not stick your fingers or your hands into the rope, because if they pull away, it could hurt our hands. And now with that, let's show you our first quick release knot. For all our quick release knots today, we're going to refer to this section of the rope as our clipped end, since it's clipped to the horse, and this section as our tail end. For our first quick release knot, we're going to take our tail end, go through our baling twine loop, and pull it all the way through until there's about 2 feet between our horse and the tie spot. Next, we want to pinch our tail end to make a loop, and then go over our clipped end and under the circle loop we just created, and then pull to tighten. Once we have our secured loop, we'll pinch our tail end, feed it through that loop, and repeat that process to finish our daisy chain. At the very end, you can take the tail and either tuck it through that last loop, making it not quick release, and then removing that, and then you can pull it to fully release it. So for the second quick release knot, we found that this one works really well when you only have a railing accessible and you might not actually have a baling twine loop, but still today we're going to use our baling twine loop. So to start out for this one, you want to pinch your rope to create your loop, go through your baling twine loop, and get a little extra slack from your tail end. Then bring this created loop over your clipped end and back through and pull to tighten. From here, you do your daisy chain with your tail end through that created loop all the way to the bottom, and now you can leave it like this or you can tuck your tail in. But just remember, if you do tuck your tail, you have to untuck it before you can pull and quick release your knot. For our third quick release knot, we're going to show you an example where we use a railing instead of our tie loop, because you might not have that accessible to you. So to start, we're going to fold our lead rope and put it over our railing. So in this case, if you had your tie loop, you'd want to go through, but we're going to go over. We're going to pinch our clipped end and put it through this created loop and close it up to our bar. From there, we're going to take our tail end and put it through our created loop and start our daisy chain and go all the way down to the end. And at the bottom, we can either tuck our tail or leave it untucked. Just remember, if you do tuck it, you have to untuck it before you pull to quick release. This is our fourth quick release knot, and it's probably the easiest. So we're going to start with pinching our rope and sticking it through our twine loop, and then we're just going to go straight to our daisy chain by folding our tail end and sticking it through that created loop, and then following through with the rest of our daisy chain until we reach the end, where you can either tuck your tail or leave it untucked. Once it's untucked, you can pull for a quick release. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you learned a lot. What was that, Thomas? We have a fifth knot. Well, we do have a fifth quick release knot. So to start, we're going to take our tail end of our rope and go through our baling twine loop and pull it all the way through until there's about 2 feet between our tie spot and Thomas. And then we're going to make a circle loop in our tail end and bring our full tail end over the clipped end. From there, we're going to pinch our tail end, bring it under and through the loop we just created, and then pull to tighten. If we need to, we can adjust our loop size by pulling the tail end and then starting our daisy chain. And then we'll pull it all the way through. And at the end, you can either tuck your tail or leave it untucked. And once it's untucked, then you can pull your rope for a quick release knot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned so much. For all of your horse needs, make sure to head over to ridingwarehouse.com.